Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his and her way in America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and I'm here with the Accomack clan mother, Lisa Cypress. And what we want to talk about today is put up or shut up. We haven't too many instances of these Pan-Africans, other foreign ideologies coming over to us, just confusion, everything that's going on in the community and confusing what we're trying to do to make ourselves, to set ourselves straight. And we have all these cats, and you can go back to Marcus Garvey. I mean, all these cats. Right. And all they've done is confuse the Indian community around here. And the Indian community go with these cats because these people are the ones who put up all these foreign ideologies up for us to hang on to and love. And we don't even know what our grandmothers and great grandmothers, what their religious ideology were. So these cats are confusing the community big time. And we want to talk about that today. So thank you for joining us, Clan Mama Lisa.
Hey, thanks for having me, Carrie. Nice to be here.
So one of the things I want to talk about, and this is going on through the community today, is one of these brothers up in New York has been charged with molesting his girlfriend's daughter at 14.
14.
And why is this so common? Why do we always hear about these cats going after young adults, young children?
They're predators. They're animals.
But how do they make all these millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars? And why? Because the problem to me seems to be these people who are following these cats and propping them up. Are they being propped up by the mainstream, or are they being given money or something from their prospective groups? Because I'm starting to see now that a lot of people aren't as dumb as you think.
Right. And the mainstream media, definitely they're being propped up.
So what do you think about that? These cats that's going around and just decimating the community with their bullshit, and the community is not, don't look at them, don't see what they're doing. Is that the case, or like I said before, are they being propped up?
They're being propped up, but then people say things like this cat that contacted me yesterday. You're the only one who thinks that way. You're one of the few. My doctor says this says that. People want to follow the crowd. They don't want to have discernment. They don't want to be analysts, right? So that's why, what was I supposed to feel when I was told you're the only one who thinks this way about certain things? I was supposed to feel wrong? Does that make me wrong because I don't agree with your doctor, your pediatrician? Is your pediatrician right because he is a pediatrician?
Right.
So, I mean, that's the thing about people. We don't have confidence in our own discernment. We don't have confidence in our own ability to analyze. We don't trust ourselves is the problem.
Especially when we know where the information's coming from and where it's been coming from all these years.
Right. Well, we need to know that because most of us don't know. We trust where it's coming from. You know what I mean? The majority of us trust the media outlets, the major media outlets. We trust it. We think that's the real.
Is it that bad?
It is that bad. It is that bad.
I mean, with people that are allowing the TV to take over choices and make decisions for them in their lives.
Yeah, because they don't want to have that responsibility. They don't want to analyze. They just want to just breathe, live, not have to think about things. And really, they don't want to think about things. And but see, that's a mistake, because you have to see that that's a mistake right now, and that was a mistake in the past. You know, we have to see the mistakes of the past and learn from them, but we also have to stop repeating it. And by mindlessly trusting people that are actually looking out for themselves and have you know, it is our responsibility, to actually be analytical. It is our responsibility to actually hold these people's feet to the fire. You know, don't just give them oh, I like the way they sound, I like the way they look, and all of a sudden they got all your trust and belief and your information. People are giving up their information about their ancestors to these people, these predators who are trying to be you, trying to take what's yours, trying to make sure you don't get what's yours, trying to confuse you on purpose, getting you in leagues with things that you think is going to give you, your rights or your ability to move in a certain way, and they don't have that themselves because they ain't you, and they ain't doing that themselves because they can't, because they not even from this country. The majority of people that you look at and you give all your time and likes and give money to ain't even American, absolutely aren't North American, and absolutely aren't indigenous to this daggone continent. They're not. But you want to give them everything because you like their exaggerated, uh, 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 delivery. You like the way they look and they sound. You like whatever. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not using discernment and you're not investigating at all.
I
It
want to
don't
say,
take but a few Googles for you to find out that ain't their real name. They ain't really from here. They got serious issues. They're not really of that lineage, nor do they come from the place they're talking about. They couldn't. Not when you look them up. Not when you look them up.
and that's what I'm saying. We got to start being honest with what we're doing, falling in love with all these stories that don't make no sense. Especially
Right.
when we don't even know our own stories. We won't even
Right.
look up our own stories. And
Right.
that's where most of these people are getting their stuff from. You.
They take it from you. They're taking from you.
So you say put up or sit down. What do you mean by that?
I mean, seriously. If you aren't able to if you're not willing to actually to analyze, if you're not really able to show that you are really how you are really doing work, and you're not just talking bull and talking in circles and getting the people riled up with the right things that you're saying, you need to put up the real deal. What are you really doing? Where's your real dad going? Where's your real heritage? Who are you really? What information is really going to help people? What can people really do? Stop talking in circles, giving out like this hieroglyphic kind of hints and shit. What is that? I can't follow that. I need something concrete to do, or information that's going to really be able to make me clear on what I need to be doing. But everybody wants to talk in circles, and then when you really listen to them, when you really analyze it, you're like, something ain't right.
Okay,
Something ain't right.
so most of these cats that I've heard, and these are all the biggest ones that just been screwing over the Negro community, is like you said, really listen to what they say. Because I mean, when you hear them for the first time, they sound dumb as fuck to me. So how important is it that we do listen to what these cats say?
First of all, we don't even know what we're listening to. We just like a good bit of propaganda. We like a good sale. We like good marketing, right? So if you're shiny, glistening, you polished, you got that little swag, you got some daggone, you sound like you're intelligent or educated or whatever you want. That is all that you're listening to. So you got people who are trying to say, "Well, I can get you." What are indigenous people really doing? What are they doing? We got this. We can heal you. We can biofeed you. We can clear up your credit. We can do your we can daggone do your trust. We can do this. We can do that. We got jurists. We're gonna do your legal stuff. We got people claiming all these kind of things. And then meanwhile, they're trying to say they can get you into your right identity. But meanwhile, they're not even using their real identity, not even names. They're using religious identification. And they telling you they doing Indian stuff. When really they doing Muslim, Moorish stuff, Hebrew stuff. Because let me tell you, the power of the church is a very big power. Now that can change your life just there. The power of being a minister is what power these people are fooling you. That's what they're really using. The church power is their protection. And they're trying to tell you it's an indigenous power. And there ain't no indigenous rights they're using. They're pretending. But the reality of what is actually protecting them by law is their religious status. You a minister. Ministers can walk a different way. Now, if they was going to be real about it, they should be telling everybody, well, be a minister. That's the honest truth. But what they're trying to tell you is, I'm indigenous, which is really swaying you into an area where you are unprotected and jacked up. Because you're thinking that they're actually trying to get you your indigenous rights when they are actually doubly protected, or the real protection is their minister rights. They haven't even done their genealogy. And then they tell you you don't have to do it, but you ain't a minister, boo. So what protection do you really have? How is that okay?
And so one of the ways that you can skip over that is simply you have to ask them, but you got to know this about yourself first. Who are they? Where are they coming from? So if a cat comes up to you and tell him he's Moorish and he's trying to tell you some Indian stuff, you just ask him some simple questions. That's where you'll get your answer from.
Right.
If a cat telling you Moorish, ask them to explain how the Moors and Indian hooked up. How did you get to be an indigenous Moor? You have to ask that question because they can just tell you anything, hoping that you're dumb enough to believe it.
Right. And don't go for the okey doke, like they're talking some general crazy terminology and they using all these fake treaties. And no, that's not that person's lineage. Even if you sitting up there trying to pretend these fake treaties that they using are real, they haven't proven their attachment to that daggone whole scenario, which is not even a real scenario. They're using something that don't even apply to their people. They're people all the way across the country talking about things that occurred in another place and time. They cannot connect themselves to the history they are feeding you. How are they attached to it directly? Bloodline connected. Never mind, you can't use these general terms to claim real rights. You can't. It's not gonna stick, especially when you got real people doing real things, putting pressure on you, making you look some kind of way. Because you can't be standing out here with your pants down doing fake stuff when people are doing real stuff. You can't. That's over. Canceled. You can't do that. Sorry, deleted.
One of the things,
because these people are making real people doing real things look bad. They need to go, but we don't even have to do anything, because guess what? You falling on your own sword because you fraudulent. You fraudulent. You are falling on your own sword because you're telling people one thing when you're really organized another way. You're really not. Mm-mm. You're not that. It's not. You're not organized under indigenous Indian. You're really organized under religious minister. Tell the truth.
One of the things that that's real big, they're trying to get people to mandate to travel, show cards and all this stuff. And people are saying this is like harking back to days when, segregation. And since they know, and I'm starting to see this is starting to the reality. Not a lot of us are getting the vaccines. I think that word's been spread around enough, or we've seen enough. We're getting in line to get these people vaccines are not a good idea for us, especially in times like this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, how could you trust a person like that? That are coming up with these claims, treaties and religious and all that. How do we fall into that?
Because it sounds good. Because they're not. Because they're lying. Because first of all, you have to look at really what are they? You're not analyzing. Like I said, what are they? Just look at them. They're calling themselves ministers. Everybody's a freaking minister. If everybody's a minister, why? That's not Indian. That's not Indian. Do you see what you see? Are you looking at what I'm looking at? Look at that. Because that's where their protection is. And that's where your butt's going to be swinging in the wind. Because you think they got the answer for you, but they're not giving you the whole answer that they're using. They're not even letting you know what they're using. They're lying about it. Talking about we're doing things. You're not doing indigenous stuff. You're doing minister stuff. And you're calling it Indian stuff.
Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing is what these cats are doing. They're telling you what they're doing as they're giving it to you. And this is what I'm saying. We got to be astute enough to pick up that stuff. What is this? Because they don't even know what they're doing. They just trying to steal.
Yeah. And really what they want you to spend your money. And because every other second, what they doing, selling something to you. We can get this for you. We can do that for you. We can biofeedback you. We can do that. We can fix that. We can fix your credit. We can do that. They want all your money coming to them. Is that their indigenous thing? I mean, if they're real people that are really indigenous, what are they? Why aren't they worried about, first of all, getting all their own personal family and people in their area? Because they're not. They're not that. They're not even dealing with their own family. I venture to say that most of these individuals that you see are all over the thing. Their own daggone mamas ain't involved with what they doing. Their own daggone aunties ain't involved with what they doing. Ask them, where's your aunties? Where's your mama? Where's your grandmama? Where's your sisters? Where's your cousins? Are your cousins involved with this? Because all y'all are strangers. Y'all are not kin. You don't come from the same area. You have no bloodline connection. How are you claiming to be the same daggone people? How are you claiming to be the same daggone people? And why is everybody else falling in league with this bull? You can't roll in that way and act like that's going to work, because they're doing different things. And they're not telling you what they're actually doing. And you just going to be a peon they stepping on, a pawn. They just trying to get your money. They just trying to get you to be to follow in and get and pay for everything they sell.
So R. Smith says all of their services are painfully expensive, and you pay a high price for every little thing. Is that what you find?
Well, I haven't inquired about what they have to offer and how much they charge for it per se, because I don't really care about them that much, except that I feel like people need to wise up. Yeah, I'm sure they do charge a lot. You know what I mean? They're trying to make money. They're trying to win on your back. So yeah, that's what they're doing. But let's also look at ourselves. Let's look at the fact that, okay, so are they the bad guys? Nope. I don't think so. I don't think they're bad for trying to win on your stupidity. I really don't. I'm not one of those villain good guy bad guy per people. I don't believe in that, because you got to take some responsibility for your own stupidity, right? Or are you a little bit impaired where you can't think straight? I mean, there are those we have to protect. But then for the majority of us, they're actually, if you're in tuned enough to tune in and to be following this stuff, then you are actually capable of making a conscious decision, I feel, an informed decision. Because if you're that daggone impaired, you ain't even probably going to tune into this stuff. So if you are astute enough to tune into these people, then doggone it, you got to be astute enough to figure out that they a bunch of crooks, that they out to get some money. I am not against them trying to do what they do. That, let me be very clear. But what I want people to understand, that it is for entertainment purposes only. If you think that stuff's real, you are just you are just you're a spectator. You are a spectator in your own daggone life. You're not a participant. You're not an analyst. You're spectating. You're not taking responsibility. Be informed. Be astute. Be discerning. HEMOC. Everybody got something to say. He don't say nothing about nobody. I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. Why? Because if you can't figure out he's a hustler, by you can't. So what? You can't? You don't know? You don't see? Be down for the hustle or don't. But don't sit up there and act like you some kind of baby who can't figure it out. You got head. No, you didn't. No, you don't. You wanted what you wanted. He had what you think you needed, and you went for it. Be an analyst. Don't be a spectator in your own doggone life. You have to fully participate. That means you got to take responsibility for the detours, if it's a detour. And I'm not saying that he can't help people, because he has the ability to help people. I'm not saying he can't. But I'm saying you need to understand what you're dealing with, and then don't whine about it when you're wrong.
What about all the different ideologies and names and stuff that they throw on people, and people don't seem to recognize these new words and stuff? What about that? Isn't that a way that a lot of people get caught up in that?
Which one? Which new ideology you think about?
Whatever. I mean, if it could be more Hebrews, what's that? I mean, whatever.
Everybody is trying to use this indigenous thing to give new juice to their religion, right? It's giving new life to their religion. Ain't nobody want to dress like a horrible Hebrew. That looks boring and crazy. Like they dress horribly. First of all, they look crazy. Like it's weird. They standing around shouting at people. I don't like all that. That's ridiculous. It's all over New Jersey and New York. It's horrid. Okay. Now, nobody wants to be that, but they have to create new energy, bring more people in. That's how the money flows, right? So now they're using the indigenous thing. Oh, okay. But they're not doing anything again. They're using it as a mechanism. They aren't really doing any research. They're not even Indian. Okay, first of all, half these people, just because you look like me don't mean you are me. Half these people are African, from some other country, Black European, they're whatever. They're not even you. So they're just using that as a mechanism to say, oh yeah, this is what we are. It's a head game. It's a con. It's a con. Because if you're real, you're gonna be doing it with your family and your communities and the people at the area where your people are from. If you're not working with your families from the homeland of your people, and the people that are connected to those people in that homeland, you are not doing anything real. It's fake. That's it. That's the simple truth of it. So these people that are sitting up there talking about, oh, this is the Indian, and talk about this stuff and pulling out all these fake daggone books and all these articles they found and things that they wrote and made up, that's not anything real. And there's a lot of them. And that's okay, because you know what? The truth will resonate. The truth is going to have everything's going to go, it's going to fall in place.
And you're going to get it.
But you being sidelined by all this bull is a problem in you, not in them, because that's what they're here for. They're here for the bull. They're here to make the money. They're here to get the following. It is your responsibility to not fall for the tricks. It's your responsibility. Can't nobody do that for you.
Like I say, guys, just ask them. Just ask a few simple questions. And we don't have to suffer from all these whatever these cats are doing to the community. I mean, they dogging these young girls out. See, you say all these brothers talk about their honorable and chief and all this stuff, and what you showing the kids, man? What you doing?
Somebody's saying about we must self-govern our sovereign status. What is that? Anyway, I mean, capture can every lawsuit. You can't do nothing. First of all, let's be real. You can't do nothing until you got yourself together. You can't do a doggone thing. And you're never going to be sovereign. That don't make no sense. That just makes crazy. You just talking all crazy. Okay, you just using words. You using them damn Moorish terms. I don't want to hear that shit. So really, you really can't do anything until you get you and yours together. You got to have yourself together. Then you got to get your people together. And your hardest critics are your family. I will say that 100 times. And if you can't get your family on board, you ain't doing nothing. You got no traction. So yeah, you can find a whole lot of people on the internet that will go along with and get along with you and co-sign what you're saying, but that's not your family, and that's not your people. So until you get your mind straight, until you get your facts in order, until you get your research done, until you get your family in understanding and agreement, until you get yourself organized as a people, you can't fight for anything. You be fighting like a fool. You know, I'm not fighting as a single crazy person that's just out there. I've already done the work with my people and my family. I put in the time talking to them, teaching them, organizing ourselves. And then you can throw yourself out there as an individual and fight. But you sit up there just doing it off the cuff by yourself. You know how your family gonna come for your ass? First of all, they're gonna be the first ones to come for you. Because you doing stuff that they have a right to do and have a right to have. And if you think you're gonna get all that and just keep it by yourself, it ain't happening. So you're gonna do a whole lot of work for a whole lot of nothing. Because you're not prepared to share and you haven't gotten that word out. So you have to first put in the work. All the work. Not just half the work, not part of the work, but you got to put it all in. And it's not just with the people you know, it's mostly the people you don't know that you have to get the work in. And the word out and the work in to people you don't know. It's easy to get in contact with your family. But it's those strangers that you don't know that you have to hearken the call to and get them into the fold. That's that's the real work. Never mind fighting for stuff. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna be arrows gonna be coming at your head like you cannot believe. Okay, you will, no. You got to be out there on the warpath of helping people, letting people know what your intentions are in a real way before you even attempt to try to fight for something. You gotta make people know what your heart intentions are, what your plans are. You gotta let people know what you gotta do the research and know what you know and know who everybody is, so you're able to discern who is and who isn't real. When you see them there going them black Europeans coming for you, you be like, you can smell them. You know who's family and who's not. You know the names. You know the code, the language they use. You know how they move. You can recognize discernment. They can't infiltrate because you are on the alert on that. You recognize that is a factor, right?
I just want to share something real quick about these terms we were talking about earlier. You see on the screen it says Moor was a term meaning dark skin, and this is how a lot of times we do ourselves in, because we're learning this language because English is not our language at all.
Mm-hmm.
So they say Moor was a term meaning dark skin. I want to take every word out of that sentence except dark. We don't even know what dark means. When we think dark, we think night. That's not what it means.
Mm-hmm.
You go check out the etymology of the word dark. It's just like black. And what those words encompass and what they mean, and we get caught up in them and we get emotional with these words. Black doesn't mean anything. Anything that's black. Here's my cell phone. It has to be moved by somebody that's alive.
Right.
I mean, these are simple. Once you understand their terms, you have to look at what they mean.
Right.
You just can't say them in a distinguished way. Oh, I'm black. Yeah. What do these terms mean? And a lot of times we use these terms. Dark skin, dark is sinister.
Right.
And these are the kind of traps we put ourselves into. And it's very, very unnecessary.
Right. Why is it that these Moors and whatever else, other religious, whatever sects, the Moors will sit up there and say everything is Moor. If it starts with an M, if you go it's a Moor. That's good. Oh, that's Moor. That's Moor. That's Moor. That don't say. Oh, she's a Moor. You heard her. She said, that's good. Anytime you use an M sound or MUMO, they claiming everything with an M right now. Everything written with an M, they assuming that's Moor, and it's insane. It's insane. It's desperation, and you know what that is? That's a unwillingness to let go of what is not right and what is not working. They feel so comfortable with that religion, sect, whatever you want to call it, social club, society. They feel so comfortable with it, they refuse to let it go. Noble Drew Ali could come back from the dead and tell them all, let this shit go, niggas. But they still would not let it go. Because that's how engrossed they are into this dogma, right? Into this dogma. You cannot continue to hold on to this with all your might and your legs wrapped around the pole and think you're going to embrace something else. Your arms and you can't physically do it, nor can you mentally, emotionally. You can't do it. You can't be in both places like that, because it's in direct contradiction with your lineage and bloodline. That's why. And what they're trying to tell you, that it is your lineage and bloodline. You were No, you were not. There's documentation that actually states that the Moors were opposite, different, not the same as Indian, not that. So how in the world are you going to actually change and be something that has your true rights if you're still got your legs all spread out and stretched on a pole for some daggone Moorish stuff. How are you going to actually embrace what your ancestors were if you still holding on to some and some ideology that you are obsessed with? And that's all it is. It's an ideology that you're obsessed with.
And we stay on it too long, and it doesn't work. I mean, because I say the same thing about the Christians. My mama ain't seen Jesus come back. Her mama haven't seen Jesus come back. Her mom. And do you think it's more of they just embarrassed that they're going to stay with it because they have to explain themselves? You know, because they're going to.
It's comfort. It's comfort, man. They don't want to be embarrassed. Nobody wants to be wrong. Why doesn't anybody want to be wrong? I don't think you can actually be right without being wrong. You can't self-correct without being wrong. You can't improve without being wrong. Being wrong is part of the process of improvement. You got to be wrong.
Right, but when you're wrong for 70 years,
it's never too late to be right. Right? It's never too late to be right. I'm going to say this. My brother passed away last week. And my brother was a functioning drug alcoholic / whatever, since before he was in the Vietnam War. And he was at the age over 60, became clean and sober. After what he told me, he was drinking heavily as a daggone 16-year-old behind everybody's back. And, nobody knew. Right? So at the age of 60, he got clean and sober. At the age of 62, he started he went back to school from high school to his master's in social work and became a addiction counselor, and was working on his PhD before he got, the Agent Orange leukemia got to him, and he had to take a detour on that and focus on his health. But with that being the case, it is never too late. My point of being is that my brother is like the beacon, was the beacon of, it's never too late to make a change, man. You can make a change at any point in time. You can change your scenario, change your mindset, do something different, do something brand new at any point in time. It is within you to do that. In fact, you are required to do that. When you fail to do that, you fail yourself. And you fail everybody that falls behind you in your lineage and around you in your life. It is our responsibility to do better, to try and make changes. We are required. If not, you're just taking up space and air and energy. You're taking up. You're not bringing anything. If you're not willing to change or do something different, better, improve it, remix it. You want to hold on to being a Moor, and then you want to add on something that ain't a Moor? That ain't no change. That's disrespect. That's desecrating your ancestors. You want to be a Hebrew Israelite, and then you want to add on being Indian? No, you can't adjunct all this stuff. You can't mix them all up. You know what? This is my thinking. If you want to be have that ideology, fine. Keep the ideology over there. That can be you. You can be a Christian, keep it. You can be a Moor, keep that, but keep it in the pocket, because it don't go with your daggone Indian heritage. That's not it. It don't go with your bloodline. That ain't it. You can't remix it and try to make a daggone mongrel out of it. No. That's desecrating. But if you want to keep your little association in there, then keep that to yourself. That can be your own little side thing if that's what you want. I don't care. But that's not part of your history and heritage and lineage. And the people that are remixing it and trying to push it out there to people as if it's a real thing, That's just plain wrong. And if anybody does that, you got to recognize it for what it is. It's a hustle. It's a remix hustle. They just trying to get more members.
What do you think about the hustle going on at this time in history with all this? Do you
What you
think
mean?
it's making it worse? I mean, you know, like I said earlier, they're talking about needing passports to, you know,
Oh,
scan.
you talking about this whole inoculation hustle?
Yes, with all of that going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because a lot of people are confused about what's going on because what they're seeing coming off the media. What do you think about those people that are not able to evolve out of those ideologies that we talked about before?
Well, I mean, the thing about this whole hustle that's going on, this is a new world war, right? We don't have there. If you don't understand the letting go and Afghanistan and all this, all this stuff, all Taliban, all this stuff. If you don't understand why this stuff is going to the wayside, it's because the best hustle they got right now is the inoculation hustle. That's a worldwide hustle. It's a worldwide money making thing. It's a worldwide daggone money laundering, money moving scheme. It's better than war. The war on that is better than any war. War on drugs, war against foreign entities. Those things were negotiated in advance. They had to negotiate what the payback was going to be after the war. They were negotiating which people was going to get shot down. They made sure they weren't shooting down the rich people. They made sure if they bombed somebody, it was the poorest neighborhoods that couldn't do crap. Okay, all this stuff was planned. So now that's not necessary because we got a war that all you got to do is tell people it's a problem. There's a DCV new variant. There's a KMJ new, you just got to make it up. And people are going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Tell them to stay at home. Shut down everything. You got a whole mechanism to make anything happen you want to because you got the people under your mental control. They are compliant with the mechanism. And you all are sitting around, running around, listening to these fake people trying to tell you about all these fake ideologies when you should be actually getting your own families together, trying to create a mechanism where you can really self-protect your people.
Nicole Allen says there are gifts on this land that belong to us, that they are staking claim to. That's why they want us to leave so they can have the wealth.
Well, of course, that's what they want you to leave. That's why they want you to be African. Of course, that's of course that's a fact. But the fact is that if you're gonna go and run around with these fake people following behind these fake daggone people trying to organize you into some kind of entity that's not connected to your real genealogy, then you're not gonna win this. You ain't gonna be able to self-protect anything or claim anything. Not for real, for real. Because like I said, if let's say, so I got a patent. Okay, so you got a patent, and so does Joe Smo got that same patent, and so does this one. Now, when they all got, you got to be able, you have to secure your family and your kin and your community before you go do things. You have to actually you have to have a mechanism in which to share what you are claiming before you go ahead and start doing all that. Like I said, your head is gonna be they're gonna go for your head. It's gonna happen. So all this, all this sky in the pie stuff requires work, planning, organizing. If you're not doing that and you're being distracted by all this sky and the pie and all this other stuff, you're wasting your time. You're wasting precious time because they are making moves. And they are going to try to shut people down and do various things and all kinds of mechanisms in which to destroy your people and destroy your rights and destroy your privileges and give your land away and give everything you have away because they don't care, because they don't want you to win. They don't want you to have anything. So why are you wasting time with these people that are fraudulent? That's the point. The only thing you know is real is you. What you need to believe in is you. Your ancestors, your bloodline, your family, your community, the other people that are connected to your homeland. That's the only thing that's real in this place. Everything else, anybody else, I don't care if your sister so-and-so, sister Boo Body. I don't care if your sister Boo Boo. I don't care if you're a brother Chuckanoga. I don't care what you call yourself. These people are not real. They're not a part of your lineage. They can't do anything for you that's real.
Yeah, start working with your families. Start working with your families. Because
everybody wants to avoid that. But you're not going to win even if you do all kinds of work by yourself, that's what it's going to be, work by yourself. You won't be able to win because you haven't engaged them. You haven't included them and the community at large, the people that aren't your family, who are just as connected to that daggone land that you are.
Can you imagine how much can get done?
A lot can get done if you do it the right way. And your rights can be tremendous if you do it the right way. And your ability to self-protect can be right there. Nobody can touch you if you do it the right way. But you're just too busy playing games, looking for shortcuts. There's no shortcuts.
So check out the words that these cats are using. Check out the ideas that they're setting forth. Just check them out. And you'll see that they don't go with your family at all.
Right.
Find your folks. Very important. Very important at this time. I know we're going to play We Are the World with everybody. Now is not the time.
Right. The people that are trying to be you, they're trying to be you because they ain't you. They're trying to be you because they want to dissuade you. They want to confuse you. They want to detour you. They want to stop you. That's what they are. And you got people calling themselves Chief J and Chief this. They got all kinds of daggone people on here getting all kinds of subscribership, and they are as fraud. They are not even. What are they? They're not even American, half of them. They're not. You better pay attention. When people try too hard to be you, that's because they ain't you. When they're all dramatic and extra, they're exaggerated versions of you, that's because they ain't you. Because we ain't got to try that hard. It's real. But when you not me, you got to give all this extra stuff. Because you're just imitating me. It ain't natural.
And check the words. Check the words they use to try to trick you.
Right.
Those should wake you up. Because we just put forth, when we talk, you can feel what a person is saying. You can't feel what they're saying.
Right.
You got to try to figure it out and make sense out of it. It makes no sense.
And also, this is the most important thing. What you're doing needs to come from the right place within you. It has to come from a place of love, not of greed, not of retribution, because baby, you was wrong in this. We wrong in things now, and they was wrong then. Greed and stuff caught us up. That's why we are in this condition now. Our ancestors are responsible for our failings as well. You have to look in the mirror. You have to look for your fault in things, or you will never change it. You will continue to repeat the same patterns if you don't see yourself in the problem. So, first of all, why you care about the land patents and all this stuff? Do you care about it because you wish to help the people that can't help themselves, and you wish to change the conditions for people in general? You want to improve the life for folk, or are you just trying to get something for yourself? Examine your heart. Where are you? What's your objective? First of all, that needs to be right. Because if we're starting with these messed up objectives and our rationale behind what we're doing is all faulty, then we're already messing up.
Like a
Right,
dog
the
chasing.
same old cycle.
And you can see now what's going on. What was going on in the 30s and 40s is going on now. We're not moving forward. We're just going around in a circle. Same old bullshit. Now it's hyped even more because of social media and whatever. Listen to what people are telling you. If they're not telling you, I mean, damn, you want to go back to where your mama's from. Who are those people? Who are those people that brought you forth? What were they about? We don't know. We know more about Egyptians than we know about our great grandmamas.
Right. Oh, Kemet. Oh, Kemet. Oh, holy Kemet. Why we keep remaking these idols for us to worship? You know, oh, holy Kemet. Oh, the gods of, gods and goddesses. Oh, why are we doing? Why? Why is everybody else worthy of our time, attention, and worship, and we're not putting any time and attention into our own lineage? You letting somebody else tell you what you should be thinking about, what you should be daggone focusing on, and what you should be sharing with them so they can get your stuff. Come on now.
How come we're not thinking about that? How come we're not thinking about where our people are buried? How come we're not going back there? How come we're not going back 150, 200 years where our people are buried, where those antennas are, where those voices are coming from? And we won't even go take a closer listen.
Right.
How do we do that and we pick up other people's ideology? They change up the wording and give it to you to confuse you even more. They did that to confuse your grandmama, and you still don't know? I mean, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Y'all stopping short and letting somebody tell you what kind of Indian you are. Y'all stopping short and let somebody tell you where your people came from without even digging in deep and looking in the records, looking in the county, looking in the old history books. You're not trying to find the real names that was there back in the day. You stopping short. Oh, I'm Creek, I'm this, I'm Yamasee. What? These are umbrella terms. These are not is that from your county? Is that from your county? Is that where your people were exactly? No. You're using these big umbrella terms, which is not really your people.
Not really your
because
people.
You're not going in further because you're letting these other people try to bring you in under their daggone stuff, and you don't even know if they're real or not. Because why would they?
Those names
if they're your real family, you're in the census together. You're in the court records together. You living by each other. That's your folk. That's how you know where your tribe is. Who are your neighbors? Who's in the community? It's not some dude on the internet that calls himself Chief Sakamore. I don't know. What that's not your neighbor. And as a matter of fact, if you look back in the records, your ancestors didn't call themselves that either. They had their names. But as you know, even if you go back to the daggone 1700s, they, Tom, Judith, So what are you doing? What are you really doing? Let's try to make sure that we're not just sitting down and doing nothing. Let's try to do real stuff that makes sense. And don't let these people win and take from our own ancestors. What is this one? What's it say? Could you read it? I gonna short start within ourselves. Yeah, that's right. The older folks don't know their true indigenous history, Afro religion, the government. What did it say? Let them die off? Well, what is she saying? Or is that a she? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So what is she saying? Carrie, because I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. Carrie, you frozen? Anyway, I think he might be frozen, but I'm gonna try to look at it again. Let me see. Still something stuck on religion, something Africa and the government let them die off. Something the older folks that don't know their indigenous history. I mean, what's the question within this? We got looking. I'm got it's gonna.
Back.
Yeah. So I was trying to read it. You're two people. I like that. I like having two carries. This is kind of fun.
Hey, it's going to start within yourself, then the children, the older folks that don't know their indigenous history and that they're still stuck on religion, Africa, and the government. Let them die off.
Well, I mean, there's an energy there's a I wouldn't say that. I mean, because I have a lot of older cousins and aunties and uncles and and what. I don't have any grandparents, but aunties and uncles that they understand it, and they it just takes the time of talking to them. A lot of times they already know it, but they just haven't had the historical foundation and information to support it. Right? Once you support it, to support what they have been told with data and historical foundational records and things, then they get it. So I don't find you just gotta let them go. I mean, because they are part of the energy, they are part of the power. I mean, yeah, they're gonna go, we all are gonna go, but and they may not be here to do all the work in the future, but the reality is their energy. They're going to their maker. They're being in this planet and having that understanding. There's a power with that wisdom of actually understanding who they are. Somebody who's lived a long life and they understand and they come to a new accurate understanding of what their history is. That's a powerful thing. Not to be discounted, you know. Uh when we have the Indigenous Summit, my older cousins attend. That's amazing for me. My aunts or uncle. Oh my God, that's I'm inspired by that because the fact that they feel good, that they have this knowledge, and that it has the support of information, data, records now that they weren't able to obtain. That's a powerful thing, man. You don't want to cut that out. They may not get it initially. It takes so many times of talking to your folks. I got a cousin that I was like just mad, just basically telling off on the phone a few months ago, but he's coming to the summit from California. Okay? You can't give up on it. You got to just just keep talking because that's who you need to invest your time in. Why are you investing your time into people that ain't you? The people that are you, I don't care what age they are, from the babies to the oldies. Everybody needs to know, and everybody needs to get an accurate understanding.
And
Because what they're gonna do when you're not there, they're gonna talk to their grandkids. They're gonna mention what they are. They're gonna be like, "Oh no, no, we're not African. Oh, we're Accomack Indians." You know what I mean? That is a powerful thing. You need to be a part of making that change within your family, in your community. Don't discount that. That's an opportunity right there.
well, Lisa, before we go, can you tell us a little bit about the summit that's coming up?
Yes. Okay, so on October 10th and 11th, that's a Sunday and a Monday. That's Indigenous Peoples Day, that Monday. We are going to come together on the eastern shore of Virginia, on the grounds of the Accomack Indians prison camp / reservation, the Gingaskin Reservation, Indiantown Park by another name currently, soon to change, via a lawsuit that I have put against the park and PNC Bank as of 7/7/21. Magical. Anyway, that park is where we're going to have the summit. We are going to have Kerry Davis, usually there. He's going to be there. Thank goodness. Also, Rick Moon will be there, gracing us with his presence. Always a delight. Um, Chief Callie will be there. Bones McCoy will be there. So well, Johnny Aborigine, the genealogy genius and the great displayer of historical information. Tasha She is going to be there. As I expect many others. I want everybody to have love and peace in the land. We're gonna have great vendors and including Celestine. She's got all kinds of feathers and headbands and armbands now, including all kinds of creams and great great products, skin products, and jewelry that's amazing. So you want to be able to, come out. We're going to have crystals being sold, tobacco being sold. We're going to have somebody out there showing you how to use a bow and arrow. Sister is amazing. Miss Battle is going to be out there letting you practice using the bow and arrow, teaching you about the history, teaching about us. In addition, we have an actual brother who has falcons, and he's a falcon handler. And we used to use the falcons to send messages back and forth. Fly, man. What? The brother's from Washington, D.C. He now lives in Virginia. He's coming out with his animals, y'all. You need to see this. I'm gonna have a stilt walker coming up from Florida. We used to do stilt walking. That is our thing. That's like us being our Olmec, our giant selves. Like we are actually showing homage to the giants that preceded us, right? So we're gonna have that with DJ. We're gonna have my saxophonist is gonna be out there as usual. Our drummer. It's gonna be a blast. All kinds of historical information, documentation. I got books that are dating back to 1588. 1588 is my oldest book. You can actually see it for real, see some information for real and real form. I have artifacts that are new, different. I keep trying to pick up new things every day. And I may even have my chickens and my turkey out there because we used to be turkey farmers. So I may even bring my turkey to beauty. I got a pretty turkey. Don't want to eat that one. Sorry. But no, we'll be out there so the kids can see that. Games for the kids, games for adults. We're gonna allow you to ask questions that you want to ask to the people that you talk to over the internet. See them in person. Panel discussions, panel information. It's gonna be amazing.
Address, Lisa.
Experience.
Address where this is going to be.
This is in Eastville, Virginia, Indiantown Park. You can go on eventbrite.com and look for the Indigenous American Indian Council Summit. And there we are. You're in there. And I have information about local hotels. Airbnb link is over there so you can look for a place to stay. We're going to have vendors there actually serving food, seafood and barbecue. So it's going to be a really good time.
It's going to be a stone jam, honey.
Oh, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Oh, the next day we go out and we do some indigenous exploring. We're going to go see the grave sites of our king, the grave sites of our indigenous relatives, my great-great-great-grandparents, plantation my big mama and all her people were on, but they weren't enslaved. They were indentured. So you're going to be walking the grounds, looking at the sites, getting that real firsthand information, the real live living history with the people that are of the history. Oh, and showing you the real.
One of the cool things about those old books, this is something you guys are going to love. When you go to those old books, you'll see that they don't spell today how they spelled back then.
Right.
Very important. So if you get a book and you see the wording like today,
right,
you know it's BS.
Right. And that's another thing with looking at your deeds. When you look at these deeds that people use, these fake deeds that they put out to take your land, you'll look at the penmanship. Man, I look at some of these deeds. I'm like, that's fraudulent penmanship because their penmanship was much different. When you
Right.
see the real old school penmanship, it don't look like that. If it looks like somebody did that from your 8th grade classroom, that's not real. That's 1970 penmanship. It's
Right.
not. It's not 1680 or 1820 penmanship. That's not real. It's not 1830 penmanship. Okay. In addition, like you said, the words they use, the spelling they use, is totally not the same. So yeah, that helps you kind of recognize, the remix that occurred. That's part of it. That's part of your just, you got a lot. You got a lot to do. It's not. This ain't no. This ain't for the weak, the weary, the ones that want to give up, get tired, let go. No, these are people that's for the long run, for the long haul, and is ready to fight off these people that are trying to deter people and trying to mix people up. Government financed, yeah, and supported. These people are government financed and supported to confuse, mix you up, and to cause infighting, and to distract you from your mission. People say, "Oh, well, why are you responding to people that are saying, I like it." Sometimes I just like to just argue with people for fun, just for my entertainment. I just like to it's like sharpening my tools. But I know when to delete somebody. I'm not gonna get carried away with it because I got stuff to do. I can't be all busy with this shit. But every once in a while, I like to yap it up with some ignorant people just to see what the world, just to play with the heads a little bit, just for entertainment. But you can't get yourself bogged down in that. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? You don't need to be doing that, because if you make it your whole mission to sit up there and be petty and do petty things and be distracted, you're never going to get anything done. You just won't. So you have to stay focused, So that's
Never get anything done.
never get anything done, man.
Well, Lisa, we're going to shut it down here, and we're going to wait till Friday. We're going to come back on Friday. That's cool.
That sounds cool.
Divine Nine, Young Cherokee Peasy, Chief Kichi Waya, Nicole Allen, Selena Murray, to everybody. I want to say thank you for
Smith,
joining
everybody, Michael. Yes, Copper Color Lifestyle, always.
Always.
Young Cherokee Party, all these folks, everybody, usual suspects and the new.
Yes.
Thank you.
So listen, like I say, find your families. Go to where your family's from. Go ask your mama, ask your aunts. Where do you guys hail from?
Mm-hmm.
And find those spots and find those people. See what
Go
happens.
there. Go there, because guess what? When you go there and they know you looking, your ancestors gonna lead you.
Because one day, like Lisa said earlier, you're gonna be one of those ancestors. And you still gonna be one, and you gonna still
and if you think the older ones are gonna be there sooner, that's true. Or it might be you, it might be that you get there first before they do. They may end up being 102. But the reality is, hey, you want to have everybody on your side. You want to give everybody the opportunity. They be like, shoot, why didn't I know this? Didn't nobody tell me about this? Tell them, let them know. Everybody deserves that.
Okay, Lisa. Well, thanks. We're gonna just see you in a couple of days.
Yes, thank you, Carrie. Appreciate you as always.
Okay,
everybody like, subscribe, tell a friend, and give him some daggone money. Okay, all these frauds, y'all throwing 20s out to them like you're in the strip club. Throw some 20s to the real.
Right.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.